Riding off the back of last week's half term, I've had advisors, business owners moaning, complaining and worrying about the work-life balance issue of juggling kids, juggling business, trying to make some money, service your clients whilst dealing with half term. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 key tips that you need to focus on how I have gone from being a sole trader to a business owner, managing 4 kids, a wife, business, team of 26 collectively, just to make your life easier the next time you are approaching half term. These tips, these strategies are going to work to help you achieve your version of work-life balance, to give you the freedom, the autonomy and the time to make sure that you're looking after both your business and also the lifestyle that you want to live. One of the challenges as a business owner, as a sole trader, when you're starting out newly self-employed or you're a seasoned professional with a team, is what I like to call the entrepreneur's guilt. When you're working, you feel like you should be at home with the missus or the kids or the partner. When you're with your partner, your missus, your kids, your significant other, then you feel like you should be working. Now, we have to be careful with our language because things like should, must, need to put pressure on ourselves to do something which at that moment in time isn't congruent with the other side of our personality, of our lifestyle and the goals we want to work towards. By making statements of, I want to be off work every single day, I need to do things with my children every single day, you're putting too much pressure on yourself. You need to do lead generation, you need to do marketing, you need to do booked phone calls, we need to do more sales. Like, all of these are setting an expectation which is really hard to live up to. 365 days a year, 52 weeks of the year, 24 hours a day, it's impossible. And when your current reality doesn't meet the expectation that you set for yourself, that's when you begin to get frustrated, you have fears, you have anxiety, you get overwhelmed, and it leads to that really anxious feeling that you get because you're putting too much pressure on yourself. So first of all, just give yourself a break. Like, when your half term is coming, when you're going on holiday, realize that you're going into a different phase of business, a different phase of life. Your values and your priorities are changing. Now, if like me, you're building a business to support the lifestyle that you want to live, then you can't sprint all day, every single day. Your growth comes in the time when you're actually recovering. You get your best ideas, if like me, in the shower or when you're going for a wee or any of these random times when you're not actually doing the do and working in the business. So when you begin to appreciate that the rest periods of holidays, the rest periods of half term are sometimes where you can get your biggest and best ideas to move your business forward, then you can start to reframe how you think about holidays, how you think about half terms. So I get it. So in 2015, when I downsized my insurance brokerage and started all over again, I doubled my mortgage. You know, my expenditure was still the same level, but I'd gone back to zero. I'd started again with 1 admin. So the commitment that I made to myself was that I would work 12-hour days, 6-day weeks, and I did it for almost a year. Now, I will caveat, I still had time off. I still had holidays. I didn't work a Sunday. I had to go through a period of short-term pain in order to maximize the long-term gain. So when you're first starting out, I get it. In that first year, you might need to say to yourself that holidays, lifestyle, balancing, juggling kids is not a priority. Your main focus is to make sure that you can put food on the table, to pay for your mortgage, to pay for the lifestyle that you're currently living. But you're doing the sprinting now so that you can enjoy the recovery later. You cannot underestimate the power of a strong foundation when starting off in business. If all you do is jog, it's going to take you much longer to get to your destination. If you come out of the gate sprinting, then you're going to get way more results much quicker. It's going to relieve your stress and your anxiety. So as you begin to make some money, there's 3 core things that I think you can do in order to relieve that frustration during your period of business and life. So the first one, assuming you are on your own and you don't have a team, and even if you do, it still applies. Make sure that you chunk your time. You can't work all day, every day. You can realistically only work in a period of 45 minutes to 90 minutes, depending on you as an individual. So if you know that, for example, you're going to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, there's no school runs to do, you're going to do an hour and a half's worth of work, which gives your kids, if they're anything like mine, an hour and a half to play on their iPads, to eat their breakfast, to do all the other stuff that they like to do. Make a commitment then to go and spend an hour and a half outside with the children. Take it up to lunchtime. You know, go and do something and then just put in an hour at lunchtime or just after lunch to then do some checking of the emails. The problem is, I've done this too. I've done previous podcasts and video episodes on it. For the first time in what would be, I think it was 13 years, I put my laptop in the safe on holiday. I put my phone in the safe on holiday. It actually ran over the 28th of the month, so I had to do payroll, which was the only 2 hours worth of work that I did for that whole 7 days. Now, it was amazing. My brain came out of the matrix. I was able to switch off. But here's the thing. As soon as I turned on the laptop when I got home, as soon as I put the phone on, all of a sudden I had a mountain of stuff that needed to be responded to and answered. So actually, I made myself more stressed after the holiday, trying to juggle everything that I'd put off for almost 7 days. So doing a little bit and doing it often and doing it a little bit each day in a structured and routine plan that suits the lifestyle that you want to live. Maybe you do some work in the morning on one day. Maybe you take the kids out in the morning the next day, so you do some in the afternoons. That's the whole beauty of being self-employed, of being a business owner. You don't need to have entrepreneurial guilt. You need to lose the 9 till 5 mentality. You can only realistically get 6 hardcore, focused hours worth of work done every single day. So all you need to focus on is just doing that. And hey, it's half term. Make sure that you're working more. Hey, it's half term. Make sure that you're sprinting in the times when it's not half term. And you're giving yourself a more structured, more organized diary at the points where it's half term. So every year I go in and I put half term in my diary first. I block out my calendar. I make sure that we're not doing much in terms of promotion, marketing, sales calls. Everybody else is on half term anyway. Everybody else is juggling kids. So most people will be able to understand that, and you can remove that guilt and frustration from yourself in that process. The second thing is making sure that if you can't afford a PA or an administrator yet, you get yourself a call answering service. Now, my good friend Emma Mills, she's been on the podcast before. She answers my phones still, even though we have 7 people in our head office. If none of those people answer the phone, Emma Mills' team in Manchester called My PA will answer the phones. They'll send us an email. It acts like they are us, so a client wouldn't know any different. Now, if you're going out enjoying your time with the family and the kids, the last thing you want to be doing is being beholden to your mobile phone and being responsible for those calls that are coming in. So you can divert your mobile. You can have it go to someone like Emma Mills in Manchester, her company, My PA. Or you could get yourself a PA. And I know that sometimes during half terms, perhaps your PA needs some time off. So utilizing both your own PA to manage certain days and a call answering service is a fantastic way to give you your freedom, time, and autonomy. And what you do is you can put an out of office on your emails. I do this when I go on holiday. I did it for the week that I was away last year. I'm enjoying time with my family. I'm only going to be checking emails at this time and this time. You know, so if you need urgent assistance, contact this person. You know, my experience since 2006 as a business owner is the most important part is that clients just want communication. We know that lifestyle is a key vibe. We know that that's the whole reason why so many of you become mortgage advisors, insurance advisors, financial services professionals. So giving yourself that structure and that routine, and then making sure that you've got something as a backup, like a PA, like a team, like a call answering service, and utilizing communication through automation in your emails, just make sure that customers are taken care of, which means that you're not saying no because they're taken care of, which means that you can switch off. And let's be honest, you're only realistically switching off for 2 or 3 hours anyway, whilst you're out and about with your kids. The third one, if you haven't guessed it already, is going to be team. My huge ethos is team equals time. When you get your PA, when you have other people, when you're able to make sure that someone else is looking after that particular client. Like, you could get someone who you know really well and you could juggle it yourselves. You know, if you know another advisor and you're able to work in collaboration with each other, maybe you don't have a PA as yet. You know, let that advisor take care of a couple of your applications. You can do it for them. If it's a 2-week half term, you work 1 week, they work the next week. You know, the whole point of building a business is building a business the way in which it suits you. So as long as you're earning the money that you need, you're managing your diary in terms of the number of booked calls. If you want to take 4 weeks worth of holiday every single year, and you know that you need to do X number of calls per week, you know, just increase the weeks that you're working and go after 1 more booked call that week to offset the 4 weeks that you're going to be taking off. You know, 4 weeks off, 1 call per day, 20 calls, add that to the other 48 weeks. Hey presto, job done. You need to know your numbers, you need to track them, and you need to make sure that you're just being consistent with the number of booked calls, which will lead to the number of applications that you're going to do, which will lead to the income that you ultimately want to take. When you get step number 1 right and you make that your focus, then guess what? Everything else takes care of itself. And here's the key thing. When you're out and about doing those lifestyle things, make sure you're telling everybody what you do. Because I guarantee that during half term, when you're having a chat with somebody whilst your kids are off playing in the pool or doing whatever they're currently doing, running around the park like mine were when we went to Longleaf Safari Park at the weekend, you know, you're having a chat with another parent who has a financial need or a mortgage or some kind of insurance, and hey presto, you're probably making money during your half term as well. So every cloud has a silver lining. But to summarize this, take the pressure off of yourself. You don't need to say you should, need to, must do anything. Sit down and work out that your business works in seasons. You know, business is ultimately a game, and there's 4 levels to the game. It's just a case of knowing when you need to gain clarity, when you need to develop specific areas, when you need to be focused on building your infrastructure, building your people, and when you need to be thinking about growth and scale. You can't go through those 4 key areas 365 days a year for 12 months of the year. It will stress you out. It will cause you overwhelm. But as soon as you gamify the growth of business and realize that the only result is progress, then everything begins to change. I tell you what, I'm going to do a deeper dive on this because my business over the course of the last 18 months, having gone through losing my mum, my baby turning up at 32 weeks, has been the most emotionally and mentally draining time possible since 2006 when I went self-employed. And yet my business has doubled. How have I managed to achieve that? There's been an overarching theme for the year, and then I've broken it down into 12 specific areas of focus. And I'm going to go deep on this for you because I think it'll be a really key thing to help you understand how to build a business more efficiently and effectively. It'll give you the strategy that you will need, and also it will help you to understand how to juggle work-life balance. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure that you comment below with what your number 1 hack is for juggling work-life balance during half terms, because it will help other business owners watching this video just like you. So let's keep the conversation going in the comments. Thanks very much indeed for watching. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon, because then that will notify you of our weekly videos that are coming out specifically for advisors, financial services professionals, and business owners just like you. Thanks very much. See you on the next one.